What you're watching on screen is your standard Trials of Osiris match. You see the dreaded last guardian standing, and I'm sure one of the following phrases have come to mind, or at least being told to you in your comms. What did my teammates do? Oh man, it's over. How can I even win this? What am I supposed to do? Fuck. This video will teach you how to overcome many of these do or die moments, whether it's in the regular control playlist or even playing Trials of Osiris. Learning this simple trick will help elevate your game like no other. So with that being said, hello Kinderguardians and veterans of the Crucible. My name is Lord Ultraman and class is in session. So, the people who cannot physically watch a video for more than 90 seconds,
I hate this channel.
No!
If you're just here to learn what the tip is, the metaphorical secret sauce to win your 2v1s and 3v1s, the tip is to just create 1v1 engagements. That's it! If you want to learn more nuanced advice for the Crucible, be sure to Monasa mash that like button and subscribe for more. Alright, since you stayed, you little guardian you, let me go more in depth with what I mean. I'm kinda putting the cart before the horse here by explaining some high-level concepts that a new light, aka a Kinderguardian, or your average Crucible player isn't going to know. But let me show you how deep the rabbit hole really goes and give you a tangible goal you can strive for just by playing the game normally. The statement, force your ones, has been a statement in literally every competitive activity in the world. However, let's talk what that means in a Destiny 2 context. The term force your ones means to create opportunities that put you in multiple 1v1 duels. Whether you are in a 1v1, 2v1, or shocker, 3v1, no matter the number of opponents, create the means to only take on one guardian at a time. You got that? Let's go through the motions of the first clip you saw, since there were a lot of things going on at once. This clip, as you already saw, is me taking on a 3v1 to clutch up the round. I'm slowing down the next few clips so we can walk step by step on every little thing that had to happen in order for me to win those engagements. At the end of the video, I'll play all the clips full speed in order and see if you can follow along to the best of your ability. Continuing on, I had just revived my teammate, but to be honest, seeing what he was doing, he was going to die, get absolutely baited. I noticed on my radar that I had two pings relatively close to me, so I decided to back up and get some distance away from that unknown guardian and the guardian with the Shayura that just mowed down my teammate. I throw down an Axion bolt grenade as a means to get my opponents to focus on the grenade rather than rush me with their shotguns. I had already killed a guardian beforehand that typically you do not want to leave alone, as it gives your opponent the upper hand to get a free res off. Res meaning revive, just so you know. However, I had to break this rule of mine so that I can better position myself and gain more information to where the other two guardians were. They obviously get the res, so I back away from the area to give myself breathing room and time to think on how to approach this 3v1 engagement. As I'm thinking on what to do, I am passively reloading all of my guns so I have enough bullets for the engagement I'm about to deal with. I notice my other teammate is close by, but my radar tells me that there are enemies right around the corner, 2 to be exact. If I ran towards that area, it would almost certainly be my doom, which leads me to my first point, being patient. Most people in the Crucible are apes rocking a shotgun, like 80% of the time, myself included. When enemies see a 3v1, they get a high sense of confidence, thinking that this is an easy cleanup. This is the moment that you're looking for. When 3v1s happen, they almost always split the group between a 2 and a 1. Your mission is to use your radar and game sense to find that 1. Using what we learned moments prior, we now know that there are 2 people on our left side, meaning the person in front of us is alone. We can now focus on eliminating this one guardian. Now we create some distance in case the people behind us are a little closer than they appear. We now have Roadborne active thanks to Chaperone's aka Chappie's exotic perk, meaning this gun now has some dummy thick range. I whipped around to see if I can get a kill with Roadborne active, but the guardians are too far away. I feint running away to make them feel like they got me on the back foot. Once again, I hit a Yui, noticing that they are both trying to pounce on me, without realizing that I'm on the attack. With Roadborne active and my enemies blissfully unaware I Uno reversed them, it's time to win the round. I eliminate the second guardian and I slide into the ghost covering 3 options. 1. I force the last guardian to panic and make him go on the back foot. 2. I now have an angle on both reses in case the enemy tries to revive a friend. 3. I am covered by this pillar here, breaking sightline, meaning he has no way to know where I will come from. Kinda wacky how this one maneuver increases my chances of putting this guardian down. At this point, the opponent is so rattled that they are trying to create space against me. However, it's too little too late. When it's a 1v1, limit your fleeing opponent's thinking by closing the space between them. Then, do what all guardians do in the Crucible. Ape in. In the second clip, we'll be going over a 2v1 engagement. The context for this is my team eliminated a guardian and I pushed forward to lessen their playing field by putting down a shield to keep them on the right side in the corner. I'm assessing the situation by standing behind my shield and building an overshield to get my abilities back faster to have with me for the upcoming engagement. I hear a smoke grenade being thrown and the sound of multiple invisibilities ring in the air. They're either trying to escape or come onto the attack. I see the Icarus dashing warlock bonk himself in the head, eliminating his escape, and the hunter is staying on the healing rift to engage against my teammate. It's at this moment my teammate goes down and the warlock has now regained his confidence to challenge me. I'm in a bad spot where I'm on the back foot, so I need to reposition myself in such a way where I can cover the already fallen enemy guardian and recover back a teammate. Using my abilities, I sprint to build up my shoulder charge and I use it as a movement option to rapidly get into cover on the other side, which brings me to my third point. Use cover. Notice how I hug the wall to my left. I am limiting their sight of me and forcing them to reposition away from the healing rift to come challenge me since I am rezzing my teammate. I know they're coming, so I have my chaperone ready while I'm rezzing my teammate. They have to make a choice over me or the res teammate. Doesn't matter because they died anyways. Because the kill was a headshot, I now have Roadborne active to allow me to get a longer one-hit kill shot. I'm already weak having taken some shots to protect my teammate. Notice how I go back to hugging the wall. I do this to give myself relief from the bullets doming my head and to get out of the line of fire. All of this while building momentum so I can slide in and get the kill. I forced the 1v1 duel knowing that if I went down, I would buy my teammate time to clean up the engagement. Thankfully, there was no need. Chaperone gets the kill and that's the round. For the third and final clip, this is a 1v1 clip and we will be discussing our last 2 points for winning last man standing engagements. My teammate died on the outside area, so I want to keep the pressure on and make him retreat. I shoulder charge into cover as a means to gather information on where the last guardian is by using my third-person camera. I continue to pressure the warlock and I put down a shield in hopes for him to back off. He doesn't expect this and thinks he's getting an easy fusion rifle kill on me. However, he burns his seemingly last fusion rifle shot on breaking my shield. I take note of this, but need more information before mindlessly going in for the kill. Which brings me to my fourth point. Keep the pressure on. I don't want to leave the warlock any time to think and come up with a plan to counterattack me. Just by being in his vicinity, it's enough to make the warlock feel the heat. We do our song and dance where I'm taking shots on the guardian and the enemy is taking shots on me. I see that he's in a rift, so I have to be careful when engaging against my opponent. He switches angles on me, catching me by surprise, but I use my shoulder charge as a movement option to go back into cover and break line of sight. I delay the engagement to give me time to regenerate my health. I do not have any abilities up, so this is a straight old gunfight, baby. My opponent clearly throws a pulse grenade in the general vicinity of my teammate's ghost, and it does tag me a bit. I go back into cover and patiently read my radar to see what the enemy is going to do. I see on the radar that he is potentially aggressing me, seeing how I took damage from his grenade. But he takes the opportunity to give up his advantage over me by going to grab his teammate. This is the critical moment that causes my opponent to lose the round and by default the match. I don't have time to waste even though I wanted to regen my health. I take out my chappy and go on the attack to land a mid-air shot, chunking him for half damage. He attempts to fend me off by putting in shots of his pulse rifle. However, all this does is confirm to me that my opponent has no more fusion rifle shots to kill me with. With that connection made, I dip back into cover, giving my opponent a small glimmer of hope that they can get their teammates res off, but I hit another Yui, catching my opponent off guard. I have full health, applied pressure to my opponent, put full damage on them, and the fact that they're sleeping on the wheel. I combined all of these aspects to get one more shot off to win the round, which brings me to my fifth and final tip. Use everything in your arsenal. Let's break down the 5 tips to winning last man standing engagements, aka 3v1s, 2v1s, and 1v1s. As promised, here are the 3 clips we went over. all in real time with no editing involved. The first rule of Fight Club is to be patient. Create space to discern who is the lone wolf and give yourself time to think. Secondly, we must use our radars. That handy little red pie gives a ton of information. Be sure to use it. Tip number 3, always use your cover. Whether you're baiting shots or using it to shield or recover yourself, ensure you got something between you and your opponents to make it harder to kill you. Tip number 4, keep the pressure on. Make the enemies feel the pressure that you're not helpless. Make them hesitate and second guess their choices. Be the honey badger. And lastly, use everything in your arsenal. Whether it's your abilities, your gunplay, or even the presence on the radar, use it all to confuse and bait your opponents. Now, don't go try to implement all 5 tips at once right away. Unless you're a seasoned veteran of the Crucible with extreme map awareness and game sense, this information will be very overwhelming. Instead, focus on one tip at a time, but actively think about it every time you're in a Crucible match. Remember, this does not apply to just Trials of Osiris. This can be applied to Control, the competitive playlist, and of course Trials. You will most likely not get it on your first try, and that's okay. Just like what our principal Lord Shax says, use every loss as a teaching moment to get better in the Crucible. Now go out there, become the Crucible gods that I know you will become. Class is dismissed. If you noticed the huge jump in audio quality in today's video, I was recently gifted an entire audio setup by one of my closest friends. A huge shout out to my friend the Lizard King for going out of his way and gifting me this amazing equipment for me to continue producing high quality content. Thank you for being my angel investor, and here is to more smooth sounding audio from here on out. This is Lord Ultraman, signing off.